The last lie she told. There are lies we tell other people, and there are lies we tell ourselves. The most dangerous ones are the lies that sound like the truth spoken in your own voice. Forensic psychologist Dr. Elise Warren has built an entire career on separating truth from deception. In courtrooms, her testimony decides who walks free and who will never see daylight again. She has studied the micro-expressions that betray fear, the subtle hesitation that suggests fabrication, the linguistic fingerprints left behind in confessions and victim statements. She has spent years teaching juries that memory can be faulty, that trauma reshapes narrative, that a story does not have to be perfectly told to be real. But there is one story she has never been able to make sense of: her sister's disappearance. 10 years ago, her younger sister, Claire, vanished without a body, without witnesses, and with almost no evidence. The investigation strangled itself on dead ends and contradictions. Elise used every tool she had: profiling, interview strategies, expert consultations, yet in the end, there were no charges, no trial, no closure. Only a missing person report that yellowed with the years. Only a family that learned to grieve someone they weren't allowed to bury. Elise locked that unsolved case inside the same mental file where she keeps her worst crime scene photographs, behind a carefully controlled door in her mind, opened only when necessary and closed before the images can seep into her personal life. She tells herself what she tells her patients: sometimes, there are questions without answers. The story begins to change the day a cardboard box appears on her office chair. No return address. No name. Just her own title and workplace printed on a worn shipping label. Inside are cassette tapes and a single note. The handwriting is familiar. The message is not. The tapes, she soon realizes, are therapy session recordings from an unknown private practice, sessions involving a single patient over the course of months. The patient's identity is hidden behind the pseudonym Violet. At first, the material seems unrelated to her: another troubled woman, another set of unresolved trauma narratives, another series of ordinary lies told in a therapist's office. Until Elise hits play on the third tape. What she hears is impossible. The voice describing the murders of several women, the detailed, chilling confessions that sound too structured to be fantasy, uses her sister's tone, her sister's cadence, her sister's habits of speech. The laugh that breaks where it always used to. The way she inhales on certain words. It is the voice Elise knows from childhood arguments, late-night secrets, and the last phone call before Claire disappeared. But the name on the tape is not Claire. It is Violet. Elise knows better than anyone that impressions can mislead. Voices can resemble each other. Memory can stitch connections that don't exist. Yet as she works her way deeper into the recordings, the parallels grow harder to dismiss. The patient talks about a coastal town Elise and Claire visited as children, about a dog with the same name they once had, about a sister who likes to explain why people do bad things. Stranger still, the murders Violet describes bear disturbing similarities to unsolved homicide cases Elise has encountered professionally, cases that were never publicized in detail. This is where Elise's professional objectivity begins to fracture. The boundaries she has always defended, between work and family, between the analyst and the analyzed, between evidence and obsession, start eroding under the weight of a voice that should not exist. Is Violet a fantasist who has somehow accessed confidential case information? Is she a copycat patching together a persona from scattered facts and stolen identity? Or is it something far worse? Proof that Claire did not simply vanish, but stepped into another life, one built on a foundation of blood and lies. The last lie she told follows Elise as she tracks the origin of the tapes, piece by piece, through therapists' abandoned offices, sealed police records, and her own family's buried secrets. Each tape is both a clue and a trap. Each new confession forces her to question not only her memory of her sister, but also her trust in her own perceptions. At the intersection of forensic psychology and intimate betrayal, the story asks, when someone you love learns how to weaponize truth, how do you know which parts of them were ever real? Some lies are told to escape punishment. Some lies are told to survive. And some lies are told to erase a person so completely that only their voice remains, whispering from the past, asking you to press play.